broadcasting live from the satellite news channel of 102.7 Kiss FM and 101.1 Today FM. Here is News Hour on Point, where we combine the stories with in-depth interviews of different personalities around the globe. Good evening, this is Miss Marian Rodrigo. On tonight's topic, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. clinched a stunning runaway victory in the Philippines presidential election in the first windy majority since a 1986 revolution that toppled his late father's two-decade of dictatorship. Unofficially, tally showed Marcos, popularly known as Bongbong, had surpassed the 31 million votes needed for a majority, setting the stage for an ounce of unthinkable return to rule of the Marcos family. 36 years after its humiliating retreat into exile during a people power uprising. Netizens ask, what will be the leadership style of Bongbong Marcos? Would he be a vengeful leader or a healing leader? Did disinformation and propaganda play a major role in Marcos' popularity among low-income groups? Will the U.S. intervene in Bongbong's presidency? Here are the few questions to be answered by our guest for tonight. We'll be right back after a short break.
Certified number one. 101.1 Today FM. Today FM.
Today's best music. Today FM.
Are you ready to make a huge shifts in every area of your life? An enlivening relationship? A purposeful career path and a life lights you from the inside out. Join IQMK Global and witness the king of the superfruits, muscadine grapes. With greatest auric capacity, high amount of resveratrol, OPC, and many more.
Kiss FM and 101.1 Today FM.
Hi, good evening to everyone, who's listening to this program of Miss Marian. So, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is a known fact that primary role of a political science or a political scientist, should I say, is to analyze the current socio-political scenario of a nation. Now that the election is completed and in few days to come, official result will be declared. My first question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge that Marcos has to face in the first 100 days?
Well, that's actually a good question, Miss Marian. I think one of the biggest challenges that presumptive President Bongbong Marcos is going to face, I think, involves the economy, our economy. We all know that we are, the pandemic has had a really bad effect on our economy, and that's why the incumbent president, I think, has tried everything, has tried his best in order to put our economy on its way to recovery. So I think that's going to be a problem, that presumptive president Bongbong Marcos will inherit from the current administration, and the growth, the modest growth that the economy has experienced, I think in the first quarter of this year has to be sustained. Actually, this is we are in a relatively good position right now compared to last year, wherein we experienced a negative growth. So that's better compared to last year. And aside from that, I think the presumptive president has to look for creative ways in order to address the health aspect of the pandemic. Earlier we were talking about the economic aspect, but this time we are talking about the health aspect. So we are not out of the woods yet, and the next president has to continue looking for ways, say for example, to make the cure for COVID-19 virus cheaper and accessible to people. As well as the vaccines, there has to be more vaccines available for us, Especially for those who have not yet gotten themselves vaccinated, as well as the need for us, for some of our fellow men to get booster shots.
Okay. Okay. Sir, it is said that there is only one of two paths that Bongbong Marcos can go. He could either be a vengeful president, or could he be a healing president gifted with the rare opportunity to take this country to the greatness that has been put on hold all this time. So what do you think, sir?
The reason why people are thinking that Bongbong Marcos would be a vengeful president perhaps because of his past. Of course, they were booted out of his family was booted out of Malacanang back in 1986, and there were so many people that rejoiced as a result of his father's overthrow. But I think that if we're going to go by presumptive President BBM's campaign slogan, which is about unity, I'm hoping and I'm thinking that he would not be a vengeful president.
Yes,
That
yes.
we should avoid that by all means, because of course, even though there's always a reason to exact revenge from people who did your family some injury or some harm. But if he's really looking for unity, aiming for unity for the entire country, part of unity says that you have to forgive those who injured you, in the past, right? So, and I think as a president, he should be the leader of everyone in this country, so the entire nation. So that means he has to be a forgiving president, and he has to reach out to his opponents, not just from the past, but also from the present. We just had our elections,
Okay.
and of course, there were so many people who campaigned against him, who spoke against him, who did not vote for him. So I think it would be nice for him as the head of the state, as the leader of our nation, to reach out, to our to those countrymen who did not vote for him.
Okay. Okay, sir. So having said that, what do you think will be the behavior of our economy with the tandem of two giants with big political capital in the arsenal?
Well, actually, it's very hard to predict the behavior for economy since first of all, that's not my expertise. But I'm really hoping that the achievements of the Duterte administration. I think even though we have under the Duterte administration, we have experienced so many hardships, in terms of the economic aspect. But
Okay.
I think we were able to do something about it. That's why we have been, our economic condition, our economic condition has improved a little. So the job is to sustain this, as I was saying earlier, to sustain the modest gains of the government of President Duterte, particularly the efforts of President Duterte's economic team. So the focus should be on maintaining the sound macroeconomic framework, right? So emphasis on the policies of Banco Central de Filipinas, emphasis also on addressing our deficit problem or deficit issue, and emphasis also on addressing the tax collection problem in our country.
All right.
Even even our may I add, even our debt, which I think at the moment amounts to 11 trillion pesos, should also be a cause of concern for the next set of economic managers, and of course the term of consumptive President Bongbong Marcos.
Okay. All right. So, sir, the previous administrations, including Duterte himself, have tried to amend the Constitution, but they lack sufficient support in Congress to push through these changes. Are we expecting Marcos to focus on completing Duterte's multi-billion dollar infrastructure and to seek closer ties with China? With his partnership with Sara, ito na po ba talaga ang implementation ng federalism?
Um, I, how do I say this? I think I have to agree with you that when it comes to following through on President Duterte's Build program, I think BBM made a promise regarding that one that he intends to to continue the Build program, but with a with a technological component. Specifically, he said he would like to add into it the digital infrastructure component. So he's really very explicit in saying that he's going to continue that. However, in relation to federalism, I'm not sure if he said anything during the campaign about pursuing the any proposal to shift to federalism. But I remember back in 2016, the reason why President Duterte made that a part of his campaign promise was because he would like to we would like everyone, all the players in the Philippines, including the rural areas, to experience development, economic development. So we would like to even, sort of say, to level the playing field. Means to say,
Okay.
both the areas of the country would experience economic growth, and would not just, would not just I mean, that the investment is just focus the investment on urban areas, specifically what they call Imperial Manila. Also, yun ang purpose ng federalism. And I am just not sure if this is high on the agenda or on the platform of the acting President Bongbong Marcos. So it remains to be seen.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much. Noted on that. Sir, there has been a lot of disinformations, propaganda playing part in Marcos' popularity amongst low-income groups. Do you think these are the winning formula of BBM?
Well, I don't think that he specifically targeted the low income group when he made, when he was very active, in maintaining and well, actually propagating his agenda through various social media platforms. I remember that part of the content of his social media platforms include portraying himself as a good family man, and that his family is, the ideal family, I suppose, for the Filipino nation. Kasi parang ang gusto yung palabasin doon, that kompleto yung kanyang pamilya at united. This is of course something that all Filipinos would like to have, a complete family.
Mhm.
So aside from politics, pinapakita niya that it's also just like every other ordinary person. Oo, that he
Okay.
does the things that an ordinary person does, and that he has an ordinary family. But he has a complete family, united family. And then apart from that, he also used the social media platforms to show the legacy of his father. What his father has done during his time. I think he also mentioned the various infrastructure projects. But I doubt it if his intention was was to go after the lower income groups of our society. Probably, it probably just so happened that those videos, that those social media content became eventually became appealing to the members of the low income group. As it is, I think, appealing also to other to the other income group. So nagkataon na mas resonate doon sa mga members ng lower income group.
Okay. All right. Sir, another intriguing question. Will the US intervene in the presidency of Marcos?
Well, it's actually a tough question, you know.
Yes,
Uh,
very intriguing.
the U.S. has always taken interest. The U.S. has always taken interest in our domestic affairs as well as our foreign policy. And I think it's just natural for the United States to do that, since it is a major power, or I think we can call it properly as a global power. So meaning to say, it has interests in the various parts of the world. So if there's any conflict that's happening in any part of the world, most likely its commercial interest or political interest or national security would be affected. That's why it's really keen on uh, keeping itself updated on the happenings in every in almost all the parts of the world. So even in Southeast Asia, it's keeping track of what's happening in the national politics of the Southeast Asian countries. Especially we have to think that we are an ally of the United States, that we signed a treaty with them back in the 1950s. So all the more reason that it should it should keep track of our domestic politics as well as foreign policy. Now, as to whether or not the next president is going to move closer to the United States as part of its foreign policy, that remains to be seen. There are, although presumptive President Bongbong Marcos mentioned in his campaign that he's going to continue President Duterte's independent foreign policy. But of course, there are some forces that would indicate that he would also not be, that he would not like to quarrel with the United States. That he would not want to be
Yes,
outside.
yes. Uh-huh.
So may mga ganong indications eh. For
Yes,
one,
yes.
I think his cousin or relative of his is currently working as a Philippine ambassador to the United States. And there are speculations that relative of the President BBM might join his cabinet, particularly as CFO Secretary. So I'm wondering how, if that's going to happen, how would that affect BBM administration's foreign policy?
Okay. Sir, eto lagi natin ito naririnig sa ating presumptive president. Make the Philippines great again. This is his winning piece, in which many says that he has no real policy and platform, campaigning on a simple but ambiguous message of unity. What do you think is the clear-cut message in his piece, making our nation to be great again?
Well, I think this has something to do with nostalgia, right? In our discipline, there's a group of studies, there are several studies that have taken into consideration this kind of subject matter. You reminisce your glorious days, like the past that seem to be better than the present. So this is what we call the politics of nostalgia. And Bongbong Marcos, the country president BBM, is definitely uh, telling us that things were so much better before, probably during the time of his father, than it is right now. Well, that's partly correct because we are really reeling from the side effects of the pandemic. We're just on our way to recovery. So that would be very timely if he would say that, if he would say that. Uh, that's why probably that slogan was very it resonated with the people. Because we are currently in a crisis, and most of us
Okay.
think that we'll be able to get through this one. And Marcos is offering, why don't we go back to a time when when things were better during my father's time. So yun, kumbaga nire-relive yung memory, and it's so appealing to the people. But
All
as
right.
how he's going to do that, that remains to be seen. Tingnan natin.
Yes, yes, yes. So, sir, after the Marcoses fall from grace, the family has been trying to rebuild its image and has repeatedly denied allegations that it plundered billions of dollars of state wealth while in power, estimated in 1987 to be worth of 10 billion US dollars. Political analyst Ramon Casiples said this may be the family's last chance to attempt to return to power. Do you agree on that, sir?
Well, for one thing, I think we have to agree that the members of the Marcos family, including the country President BBM, are all they're all a member of a dynasty, a very strong political family in the country, and that's based on so many studies. Dynasties tend to, they tend to last for a long time. They are not immortal. They are not invincible. They're also subject to change, to the rise and fall, to the changes in the political conditions. But one thing noted in those various studies, they're capable of making a comeback. So I think what's happening right now is part of the long process of the Marcoses making a comeback in national politics. Not just in local politics, but in national politics. So, if ever Bongbong Marcos, assuming, let's just assume that Bongbong Marcos failed to win the elections, I think there would be another Marcos family member that would, continue with that goal. If ever that is a goal for the Marcos family, uh, one of them, perhaps another, a new generation of the Marcos family would continue that goal of rebuilding the image of the family, as well as promoting uh, purportedly what was good during the time of the Marcos government.
Oh, nako, sir. Maraming, maraming, maraming po salamat for your clear explanations about all this matter that's been banging in the mind of in the minds of the Filipinos. Sir, do you want to say hi or greet anyone out there? Lalong-lalo na po si Sir Henry Tendidero. Do you want to greet anyone out there?
Hi and hello po to our very dynamic alumni president, UST Arts and Letters, and PLET's president, Sir Henry Tenedero. This guy's indefatigable. Walang pagod itong si Sir. Hi also to my fellow artlets, UST Arts and Letters. And hi to all my friends out there. Shout out sa inyo. Marami na ako utang.
Yes, yes, yes. Shout out. Sir, saan po kaya namin kayo makikita ng personal just in case po na may mga kababayan tayong Pilipino who would like to meet you in the most personal way possible?
Well, dahil meron pa po tayong restrictions because of the pandemic, most of the time I stay at my house and sometimes in the place of my business, office like this. Pero I would rather suggest that if there's anyone interested to pose a question about Philippine politics or our foreign policy, you may get in touch with me through my Facebook account, Dennis Coronacion.
All right. Oh, sir, please greet Gina Agustin. He's saying hi, sir. Good evening po.
Hi, Ma'am Gina.
Yan. Yan. Gina Agustin is the admin manager of Kiss FM. Ayan. So, Angelina Manglait. Good evening po, Sir Dennis Coronacion. Talagang full name,
Magandang gabi po, Ma'am Angelina.
Yes. So, maraming po salamat. That was Mr. Dennis Coronacion here on News Hour on Point. We'll be right back.
Chupa. Gusto ko haluin.
Gusto ko haluin mo.
Today, with music.
Ganda ba?
Kiss FM.
Certified number one. Number one. 101.1. Today FM. Today FM.
Today's best music.
Music.
Today FM.
Are you ready to make a huge shifts in every area of your life? An enlivening relationship? A purposeful career path and a life that lights you from the inside out? Join IQMK Global and witness the king of the superfruits, muscadine grapes. With greatest auric capacity, high amount of resveratrol, OPC and many more. Call 096860222469 or visit our office at 7th floor Caswin Building 134 Timeg Avenue, Quezon City.
Hello po, ako po si Mr. Melvin Espinosa. Ako po isang high partner or business partner po ng IQMK Global. Dito po yung sa Caswin Building, 7th floor, sa Timog Avenue. Tapat lang po siya ng PMA 7. So, ni-invite po kayo na pumunta po kayo dito sa office. Kape po tayo. At the same time, mapakita niyo po yung tinatawag na business opportunity. Pwede niyo po maging part-time job ito at magkaroon po kayo ng income. So, sana makita-kita po tayo. Salamat po!
Congratulate Marcos Jr. The leaders of the United States, China, and Russia have sent congratulatory messages and expressed readiness to work with the incoming administration of presumptive president. President Biden underscored that he looks forward to working with the president-elect to continue strengthening the U.S.-Philippine alliance. Xi, on the other hand, pointed out that China and the Philippines are neighbors, linked by the sea and partners that have stood together through hardships. And lastly, according to the Russian embassy in the Philippines, President Vladimir Putin had sent a congratulatory message to Marcos and noted that the relations between the two were traditionally friendly. That was the news for our tonight's episode. Marami pong salamat. And on behalf of our founder, Mr. Stanley John Villalobos, and of course, our technical director, Junji Gonzalez, station manager, Charmaine Dampil, and our social media manager, Gina Agustin, big thanks to our sponsor, IQMK Global Muscadine Grapes. This is Miss Marian Rodrigo once again. Until next time.
Certified number one. Number one. 101.1. Today FM. Today FM.
Today's best music.
Music.
Today FM. Super. Gusto ko.
Gusto ko.
Today. With music.
Kita ba?
Kiss FM. Super. Gusto ko.
Gusto ko.
Today. With music.
Kita ba?
Kiss FM.
Are you ready to make a huge shifts in every area of your life? An enlivening relationship? A purposeful career path and a life that lights you from the inside out? Join IQMK Global and witness the king of the superfruits, muscadine grapes. With greatest auric capacity, high amount of resveratrol, OPC and many more. Call 096860222469 or visit our office at 7th floor Caswin Building 134 Timeg Avenue, Quezon City.
Hello po, ako po si Mr. Melvin Espinosa. Ako po isang high partner or business partner po ng IQ&A Global. Dito po yung sa Caswin Building, 7th floor, sa Timog Avenue. Tapat lang po siya ng GMA 7. So, ini-invite po kayo na pumunta po kayo dito sa office. Kapit po tayo. At the same time, mapakita niyo po yung tinatawag na business coaching. Pwede niyo po maging part-time job ito at magkaroon po kayo ng income. So, sana po magkita-kita po tayo. Salamat po!
Certified number one. Number one. 101.1. Today FM. Today FM.
Today's best music.
Music.
Today FM. Mona, super. Gusto ko, halok mo.
Gusto ko, halok mo.
Today, with music.
Ganda ba?
Kiss FM.
Great songs of yesterday and good songs of today. Mix it up together, better love will be forever. Certified number one, 101.1. Listen to your heart, feel the beat and the melody of love. Wherever you go, whatever you do, just jump into your